Hello, my fellow humans, and welcome back to Scatter Love Tarot. It's your girl coming at you with another pick a card reading. I want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time in this space with you. And for anybody new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. If you are truly new here, I have the hiccups all of a sudden. We do things a lot differently here on this channel, so I suggest strapping in, hanging on. You and I are going to find out together, and should the messages happen to resonate along the way, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. With that, today we are doing Someone Got a Tarot Reading on You, and here's what it said about you. And I'm just gonna keep it simple, and when I say you, we're talking about you, okay? So that's what's gonna be happening with this. And let's get to our prayer so we can get this reading underway. We are gonna be using the Whispers of Love by Angela Hartfield. I love this deck. It's such a beautiful deck. I love all of my decks, if you haven't noticed. I think that's just when you become a tarot card reader, like an oracle reader, like it's just a thing. Like every deck has its own special energy, and they all talk to you in a unique, beautiful way. So at least that's what I've noticed from my own personal experience. Alright, my beloved source, this prayer is for anyone and everyone that comes onto this reading, whether it's for the entire time or for a moment's time. Today I ask that you remind them of just how amazing they truly are through signs and synchronicities, and maybe compliments from strangers coming through, just as that reminder that we need, right? We need that support as humans, and we always know that you're there willing to give it to us. So sometimes we do need that physical reminder. So today I ask that you give them that physical reminder, and that they open up and have faith that the journey is going to lead them exactly where it is that they've always desired to go, even if it looks different than what they've had pictured in their mind. That sometimes that's just the way that it is, right? We're looking for something, we have a desire for something, and you know how to make that a reality. And you know how to do that in a way that we would never be able to cultivate or create within ourselves, because you're the divine and you know what the divine realm is capable of. And we as humans are still trying to wrap our heads around that. And that's okay. That's a part of this process. That's a beautiful part of this process, learning about who we are and what we're capable of and what we're capable of creating. And today I ask that you help remind each and every one here, not only of their internal beauty, but of how magnificently inspiring they are to others and to themselves, and how that creativity flows freely from them when they open their hearts to that. May they be wrapped in your love and in your grace. May they also be wrapped in their own self-love and their own self-grace as they continue to traverse this journey set before them. As these words are spoken on this reading and upon this tribe, so shall they be. Amen. Aho. Ase. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my beloved source. Thank you. All right, let's get this over here. All right. Move this out of the way. Give these a shuffle. All right, someone got a tarot reader on my fellow human source. What Whispers of Love oracle card will help us better understand what was said in that tarot reading? Someone got a tarot reading on my fellow collective source, on my fellow humans. What Whispers of Love oracle card will help us better understand what that was saying? Okay, thank you. All right, for pile number one source, Someone got a tarot card reading on pile number 1. What Whispers of Love Oracle card will help us better understand what that tarot message said? Thank you. And for pile number 2, Source, someone got a tarot reading on pile number 2. What Whispers of Love Oracle card will help us better understand what was said in that tarot reading? Okay, wow, thank you. This one danced its way out of the deck. And for pile number 3, Source, someone got a tarot card reading on pile number 3. What Whispers of Love Oracle card will help us better understand what was said in that tarot card reading? Thank you. Okay, collective energy. We've slowed down. Pause and allow things to unfold. And I feel like this is just a message to the collective that there's no rush to get anywhere. So if this was a love interest, or even if this is an enemy or whatever it is, that there's some sort of outcome that you have in your mind that you want to happen. And you want it to happen now. And of course, right, we live in the age of instantaneous gratification, and that's not necessarily how the divine realm works. And so with this, it's allowing things to unfold exactly as they should, whether that's someone receiving their karma for hurting you and you wanting to see that, which is not pleasant, might I add, no matter how much someone's hurt you, or if this is a love story that you want to unfold right now, that there is a cultivation process for things to unfurl and things to actually come through. Right? There's bridges that need to be crossed. There are things that need to click into place. There's just this process of life happening, but that when we slow down and we allow things to happen, we're not burning at both ends. We're not trying to figure out how we can control this to happen in a way that's going to work better for us. We just allow Source and the divine to take over. It's yeah, exactly. It says everything in your life is in divine order. There's no need to rush nor hurry. In your excitement, you may overlook the importance of enjoying the creative process. Getting to the goal is half the fun. You might also miss guidance or messages you don't allow things to unfold naturally. Regroup and release the need to race to wherever you feel you need to be. Slowing down will allow you to appreciate what is in front of you. Embrace the moment. There's nowhere you need to be that will not be there later. Recognize the importance of making time to take pleasure in the journey. Slowing down will also help you be more aware of what is going on for you. Find a quiet place to sit and gift yourself the opportunity to be in nature without any interruptions. This may mean disconnecting from your cellular device. Observe what is going on for you spiritually. Listen to your thoughts and identify your feelings. So it says, the candles depict the archangels and the flame symbols of the energy of Archangel Michael and the Archangel of Protection. Know you have help as you make some special time to reflect and gain guidance. Right? So you're never alone, and especially on this journey, you're not alone. So regardless of who this person is that got a tarot reading on you, regardless of what's going on in your life right now, the collective energy is this, to slow down and to remember that the journey is the path. It's not about the destination. It's never been about the destination, but we get so much in this rush that we want things to be a certain way. And there's this reminder that we can allow things to unfold naturally. Okay, so that's what I have for the collective message. All right. Okay, for pile number 1, we do have this beautiful piece of amethyst for you to choose from. And we do have this dice with Venus on it. For pile number 2, we do have this bloodstone for you to choose from. We have this dice with Uranus on it. Okay, and for pile number 3, we have this piece of crystal quartz for you to choose from. We have this dice with the North Node on it. So pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3, and whichever pile you feel drawn to, that should be the pile for you, and I will see you over there. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this beautiful piece of amethyst, or if you were drawn to this dice with Venus on it, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, then this is going to be a reading on, someone got a tarot reading on you, and this is what it said. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of the journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and this space with you. And for anybody that is new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together. And this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. If you are truly new here, we do things completely differently on this channel. So I suggest strapping in, hanging on, and you and I are going to find out together. And if it happens to resonate along the way, it would truly mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe down below. So with that, we're going to go ahead and hop to it and find out, what did the tarot reader tell this person about you? So Source, someone got a tarot reading on pile number 1. What did the tarot reader tell this person about pile number 1? Okay, so we've got the 6th house, we've got Capricorn energy, and we've got the Sun. You're really focused on taking care of yourself right now. Like, there's no other focus right now. It's just being the best version of yourself that you can be, or the most aligned version of yourself that you can be, but really taking your health seriously, taking your physical body seriously, your mental well-being very seriously, your emotional well-being. This is all about you, and that you aren't worrying about what else is going on out there. So this person might be wanting to know more about, you know, why you haven't reached out to them, or why it is that they can't get in touch with you. And the thing is that this tarot reader was telling them that that's because you're not worried about them. And that might have hurt them, but this tarot reader was talking about how disciplined you become and how focused and consistent you become on your journey, and that you're having a glow up here and you're beginning to shine really bright, and that if this person had a shot with you, they missed their opportunity with you, and that's on them. They should have said something when they had an opportunity, but right now you're just focused on you and you're taking care of yourself. And there's something here that you're working on as well. Maybe that's work, or a new position, or getting a raise, or getting, you know, a different higher position in management, wherever you're working at. It just feels like you're trying to move up in the game, and that's okay. Like, you've just been so focused on that yourself. You've been healing and removing blockages because of that focus. It's like every time you heal, you grow. Every time you heal, you glow. And it's becoming this process where you're just letting go of what was no longer serving you, and you're letting go of what was no longer working for you, including people, right? If people aren't going to step up, then they can step off, and that's the energy that you're in right now. Let's get some tarot on it and see what comes out with the tarot. I do feel that they're also telling them that you're very closed off at this moment to receiving, you know, like if this is a love request or if this is an apology or something like that. Like you're not really in the space of like, yeah, bring it on. You're more or less just like, there was a time and a place for that, and now is not the time and place for that. And for some of you, you might be like, nope, I don't ever want to hear from this person again. I don't give two craps. They can do whatever they want. But as long as it has nothing to do with me, then I'm A-okay. But let's see what else this tarot reader told this person. So, Source, what else did this tarot reader tell this person about pile number 1? You've had too many situations that have fallen apart. Maybe you had a broken heart with a Capricorn. I'm getting Capricorn energy like really heavily in here. A lot of like Capricorn moon, Capricorn sun, Capricorn Venus, the 6th house in Capricorn. I'm hearing the 10th house in Capricorn, north node or south node in Capricorn. Yeah, so Capricorn is coming out really heavily right now in your reading. They could be a Capricorn. This person could be a Capricorn, okay? But Source, what did the tarot reader tell this person about pile number 1? Okay, thank you. What did this person tell this person about pile number 1? What did the tarot reader tell them? Whoa. What did the tarot reader tell them? Thank you, Source. What did the tarot reader tell this person? Thank you. Yeah, you've had to start over too many times. Like, you're used to change, and you're used to being able to pivot when needed. But sometimes it's exhausting and overwhelming. And so what's the point of continuing to try and drag somebody along that's not willing to shift, that's not willing to change themselves? Like, stuck in their old ways, I'm hearing. Not you. This person that's feeling, that's what you're feeling. Yeah, this could have been a love interest with the 2 of Cups here. You love them. You'll always love them. They'll always have a place in your heart. But you know, like, love isn't enough. And I feel like the tarot reader was telling them that, like, love isn't enough. No matter how much they love you, you weren't consistent. You didn't show up. You dropped the ball. You let them go. And now they're focusing on themselves. And now that they're focusing on themselves and they're not shifting their energy onto you is now when you want some information about them. And you have to take accountability for where you're at on your journey. And for you, it was about making sure that you felt good about where you were and that you felt good about what was going on in your life. And the tarot reader told them this. They told them that you still love them, but that love isn't enough. It's not enough. Yeah, look, the Ace of Swords under here. The truth, right? There was a huge falling out here. Something fell apart altogether. It was like you had an egoic death. You're the one that had a brash realization, something that broke your heart. Something that made you realize that this person's just not in a place where they can step up. So if they're not going to step up, and if they're not going to step off, then I have to be the one to step off. And you are in a place of seeing clearly now where it's like, just because I love this person doesn't mean that I have to put up with disrespect or inconsistency or breadcrumbing. I can love them from afar, but that's about it right now. It's all about you right now, which it should be, pile 1. Yeah, we've got the 6 of Swords in the reverse. And the 5 of Wands. Yeah. Interesting. So this energy is just talking about something fell apart. The ally. This ally or this alliance that you had with them. This connection that you had with them. It could have been a friendship as well, right? It didn't have to be romantic to begin with. This could have been just somebody who's a friend first and foremost. Above everything, but that friendship or whatever that connection was, it fell apart, and this person didn't show up. They just didn't show up, and they put themselves in the situation that they're in now. And you had to really put forth the energy to choose something different. And with the Nine of Wands, I'm just getting this very deep, heavy energy where it's like, I really had to force myself to change. Because I kept going back. I kept going back. I kept putting in the effort. I kept putting in the effort for this person. And I had to choose to change. And so the tarot reader told them that, like, you had to give every ounce of yourself to shifting for yourself, to working on yourself, to doing better for yourself. Because living broken-hearted and wondering when this person was going to come around and choose to spiritually grow or choose to just grow and become a more aligned version of themselves is getting exhausting, right? You can't expect the same old song and dance to create safety for me when it was never safe to begin with. And with this, they lost control over this connection, and that created space for you to move on. And the thing is that moving on, even though it was probably one of the hardest things you ever had to do, it was the best possible thing for you. With the Five of Wands here on the end, it's talking about how you completely had a meltdown or had a broken heart and grief that was happening. You know, whatever it is, whatever you call that. You know, it's nothing bad. It's just you had to experience the emotions of letting go and having that egoic death. And anybody who's had an egoic death, they're not going to sit here and be like, oh, it's the most wonderful thing in the world. It's absolutely disturbing and horrible and not fun at all. And there's times when you're like, I just wish it was over. But when it is over, you feel better, right? Like, you feel more free and you feel lighter and you're like, oh my gosh, I made it through that. That was the worst thing I think I've ever experienced in my life. Until the next one happens, and then you know what to expect a little bit more. But that's what it feels like here. It's like you had an egoic death, and the ego was trying to hold on to this person with tooth and nail. And they told them that you are better now because of that. You're better off without them. Right? Whoa, what's that song I'm hearing? Oh, I don't remember what it is. But you know the truth is you're better without me. And the truth is we both know you're right. You say I never try enough. You say I'm always giving up. You say I'm never gonna be the man you thought I was. Just a junkyard Romeo, falling down like he always does. Wondering how we got so good at being bad at love. Yeah, okay, I think it's called Bad at Love. I think that's what it is. Just a junkyard Romeo, falling down like he always does. But you could be a junkyard Juliet, falling down like she always does, right? Like, it's like nothing you did was good enough for this person. Nothing you did convinced them that you were the one. That's what I'm hearing. And that's what they're saying, like, you're better off without them. And the truth is that you both know that's right. Like, you both understand that. And yet this person still wanted to know what's going on with you. And they may still try to reach out to you every once in a while, pile number one. They may still try to get into your energy, but you just have moved on. You're gaining traction in the world again, and you're figuring out what it means to love yourself. And they weren't ready for this message, but they expected it. Right? They expected that this is what was going to happen. They expected that this is what was going to come through. But a portion of them hoped that you were still waiting for them and that they could come back and convince you that they had changed. But I feel like too little too late. For you, this is too little too late. This person had every opportunity in the world to show that they were willing to shift their energy, to show that they were going to change. In fact, I feel like at times, Pile One, you may have laid the road work for them. Just take these steps, and guess what? You're going to get there. And this person just, they blew it. They blew it. Yeah. Mutable, we have Gemini, Virgo, Sag, and Pisces with surrender, fluidity, and welcoming change. Didn't I say that at the beginning? You're someone who's used to change. And you're okay with it. Like, it's not a negative thing to have change in your life. You're accepting it. You're recognizing what it is and what it can bring. Yeah, denial. I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with insight of awareness. This person denied that you were ever going to leave. They really believed that they could keep being lackadaisical in their approach to you and that you would just be okay with that. And here's the thing, Pylon, this person would have never put up with what they put you through. They would never have put up with that. You have a heart of gold to have that type of patience, which also equally means if you have that type of patience, you deserve a higher ranking connection. And it's not going to come from somebody who's not willing to step up and be that in your life. Someone who's just going to breadcrumb or just give so little or have nothing to offer. You knowing what you offer to the table, that's everything. But this person's still in denial. It's like, I know what I brought, and I know that maybe I should apologize, but this person's letting their pride get the best of them. And honestly, if they came back now, this feeling is that they have not shifted at all. They've just learned how to adapt to new ways of manipulation. That's what I'm feeling. Yeah, discipline. I can accomplish what I set my mind to. See, they're in denial and you're in a state of discipline. That's it. I do feel like this tarot reader that they got a reading from was very forward with them too. I don't feel like this tarot reader was someone who was like trying to make them feel better. They recognized right off the bat that this person needed to take accountability for where they were. I feel like this person maybe tried to give a story to the tarot reader, but they only gave a portion of the tarot of the story to them, so it made them look like the good person or the good, the good guy or the good gal. And this tarot reader was like feeling it already off, and the cards may have said that as well. Scorpio, yeah, face your feelings. Exactly. I feel like that's exactly what they were told. Like, you have to face your feelings. You have to face the fact that you're the one that let this good person go. And now they're moving on. And now they're becoming more aligned with their higher selves. Like, we have overcoming any obstacles with the rhino spirit. Exactly. This, honestly, I'm sorry I'm laughing. This is a terrible situation, but why I'm laughing is because I just said it. The tarot reader told them that they were an obstacle for you. And that's why I'm laughing, because it's just like this tarot reader was just on one. They were just on one, like, look, don't come in here and think you're gonna pull one over on me. We're gonna get right down to the nitty gritty. And the truth is that this person is better off without you, right? Who's the junkyard Romeo here, right? Who's the one that convinced them that they needed them? And at the end of the day, I feel like this person tried to convince you that you would never survive without them, but here you are thriving. Forget surviving. You've surpassed that. You're thriving. Yeah, trust in the magic with 66. This was destined by Source, like Source bringing in balance. And this is the balance. It's not just karma. This person is going to go through that, right? But this is the intent. That's what's happening. Let's forget karma for just a minute and let's just look at the intention that this person had coming into this connection. I can treat pile one however I want. I can show up however I want to show up. But God forbid that they show up any other way than I expect them to. That intention, eventually it's going to come around and bite you in the rear end, and it ain't going to feel good, let me tell you that. It's gonna feel real nasty, okay? Real nasty. And they didn't like it because you leaving was biting them in the rear end. It was. And that's what the tarot reader's saying. It's like, you have to deal with that. You have to come out of this denial. This person is thriving without you. Why on earth would you ever want to ruin that? It's because this person realizes how good of a person you were, but too little too late. Too little too late. Surrender. Seeing you surrendered to the process. Right? Surrender with the mutable energy as well. Surrender, fluidity, and welcoming change. Like, you knew you had to change. You knew something had to shift here. You knew you couldn't keep going down this road because it was already creating too much mayhem in your life. What else, source? Shapeshifter. We have the light attributes. Skilled at navigating through different levels of consciousness, ability to see the potential in everything. And the shadow is projecting any image any image that serves your personal agenda in that moment. You're a shapeshifter. This person was in the shadow here. And we have the hedonist, is inspires creative energy to embrace the good things in life, celebrates the beauty in you. And the shadow is pursues pleasures to the detriment of health, indulges at the expense of others. So we see this, right? We see this night and day energy here where you were in the light, just trying to bring the light, just trying to be good. And of course, pile one, it's not to say that you didn't have your own toxic patterns that you didn't bring to the situation, but it's like you were willing to work through those toxic patterns. You were willing to work through those toxic beliefs with this person to grow together. They just wanted it to be all on your shoulders. They didn't want to acknowledge their own toxicity. They didn't want to acknowledge their own issues, right? We can't ever just say, like, I'm the innocent one in all of this. I didn't have anything bad that I brought, when the truth is all of us have garbage and all of us have baggage, right? Like, it's just a part of being human. But what I'm getting from you, pile one, is that you were really willing to deal with that. And like I said, this is so interesting that the tarot reader, the energy of this tarot reader that's coming in, is like they were just very blunt. This is not someone who beats around the bush. This is not someone who sugarcoats anything. They were just like that. They're like, look, you wanted pile number one to solve all your problems, and they did for a long time. And then when they left, you didn't know what to do because you'd relied on them for so many things because you didn't want to take care of your own crap. Now, I do feel like this person curses a lot, but I'm not going to curse. That's not what I do on my channel. So I do feel like this tarot reader was cursing, and I do feel like this tarot reader, not to make them feel bad, I just feel like the shadow of this person who got this tarot reading on you was coming through, and this tarot reader's like, you got to deal with your shadow first, man. Yeah, we got student. Look, humility and devotion to knowledge, openness to lifelong learning. Shadow, arrogance in the pursuit of destructive knowledge, unwillingness to translate knowledge into action. Yeah, so I feel like that's the thing. Like, you were always willing to learn new things. Maybe you were bringing new ideas to this person all the time. You're like, hey, check this out. This is a really cool thing. You know, check this out. This is really neat over here. Like, we should try this. You know, it's like when you're trying to build a budget in a family dynamic, but you have one person who wants to build the budget and the other person is just, they abhor the budget. It doesn't work, right? Because you need both parties to make sacrifices to come on board with that. And this person didn't want to make any sacrifices. Yeah, attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. I do feel like you were absolutely attracted to this person. I mean, you wouldn't have been with them if you weren't, right? It wasn't like a one-off, like, oh no, we just got together. No, I do feel like there was an attraction here. But I just feel like it was really, after a while, I was realizing that who cares about the attraction when there's nothing else really going on, right? It's just very empty. We have retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. So you've retreated. You've disconnected. And then we have religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. I'm also getting ethnic backgrounds with this religious factors. So you might be two separate ethnicities, brought up in two completely different countries coming together, or have been raised by parents who were in two different countries, right? So that is something that's coming in, but religion as well, right? Like there was all these bridges that needed to be crossed, and you were willing to sacrifice and you were willing to compromise, but this person was not. Sunglasses. Watching, looking, perception, and stalking. Yeah, so they're definitely spying on you. And I do feel like the tarot reader called them out on that too. Like, stop spying on pile one. They're not coming back. There's nothing that you can do that's going to bring them back. We've got old school flipping out, outdated thinking, conditioning, replaying events over and over in your head, right? I replay it over and over again. Replay it over and over again, because it's all in my head. I think about it over and over again. Oh my goodness. Why do I also hear that song? Who is that? Did Nelly sing that? If you ever love somebody, put your hands up. I can't remember how it goes right now, but that song, I think it's by Nelly, right? Like, I should have put a ring on it. Now my boo's with someone else. Like, yeah, like that, these are all songs that are coming in. These songs of like brokenhearted love. I should have done something different, but I didn't. They had an opportunity to have you around always in their life, but they're the ones who dropped the ball. The butterfly, and now here you are evolving and growing. You're on the next phase. You're healing your inner child. You're releasing the past. You wanted to do this with them. You wanted it to be a joint effort, but I feel like along the way you realized that it couldn't be a joint effort. And that's okay. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. Okay, there's that. I think it just thundered outside. I don't know. We have anxiety, stress, depression, panic attacks, and restless. Yeah, so they're dealing with a lot of internal anxiety. Because I feel like they thought you were replaceable. And you're irreplaceable. To the left, to the left. Everything you own in a box to the left. Okay, like maybe you guys really connected on music, and that might have been the only thing that you guys connected on. Or this person is a musician, or you're a musician, or you're a songwriter, or you're poem writers, or something like that. So we have snake that came out, deception, shady, temptation, and enemy. Yeah, this person was very deceptive to you. And I feel like the tarot reader is telling them that you know that they were deceptive, that you know they lied many, many times. And you may have watched them lie to other people, and it started you thinking, like, if they're lying to everyone else so comfortably, what makes me think they're not lying to me? And suddenly you started seeing where stories didn't match up. We have secret crush, admirer, attraction, suitor, and butterflies. So again, this attraction energy, you both were very attracted to each other, but for you, there has to be more than attraction. But for them, that's all they're focused on. House 6 coming in again, establishing a foundation, health, daily life, and practical details. So you are busy taking care of business. You're busy taking care of yourself, establishing healthy foundations and boundaries in your life. And you're focusing on the little things that matter for you. And you're not worried about this person anymore. Look at that. We've got Juno. Find your true love. Yeah. Letting them go. Releasing your past. This is what's opening up the heart. It's like the key to your heart was releasing this person. Realizing that you're better off without them. And being okay with that too, not having that come up and then being another grieving process. You know, we always go through that. We're like, I know I'm better off without them, but, and then we go through all these things and then we grieve that, and then we have that happen again, and then we have that happen again, and then they come back and we have that happen again. And, you know, like even if we say nothing to them, there's like all these grieving processes that we have to go through. And I feel like you've gotten to this point where you're like, no, you know, I am, shout out to my ex, you're really quite the man. You made my heart break and that made me who I am. Oh my gosh, I love your pile one. I mean, I'm sad that you went through all this, trust me, but just like there's so many songs coming. Maybe that's what you do. Maybe you feel like you get messages from source through song. Yeah, there's just so many songs coming in. But yeah, shout out to my ex. I feel like that's how you feel right now. You're really quite the man. You made my heart break and that made me who I am. Shout out to my ex. Hey, look at me now. Yeah, I'm all the way up. I swear you'll never see me down, right? Oh my gosh. Yeah, you're on another level. You trust in this process. Wow. And you've cleansed your energy. Look at this. And now you're standing in this truth and you're listening to your intuition. Yeah, and this person was seduced by you, or they used seduction. Like we've got attraction, teasing, hooking up, and dating. Third party, temptation. We got snake with temptation. I feel like this person may, if you guys had a relationship, this person may have cheated on you. And I don't feel like that's news to you. I don't feel like that's gonna be like, oh my gosh, that's straight to the heart or whatever. I feel like you're like, yeah, no, totally. I knew it. That confirms what I was feeling, or I caught them doing it or whatever. And it's like, why would I want that back in my life, right? Social media, yeah. So they're definitely spying on you. Again, we've got 2 spying cards. Like they're keeping an eye on you. Finances, money problems. Wow, wasn't I talking about budgeting? And then the finances card comes out. Work, material things, and success. Like, I feel like they're scared that you're going to get financial freedom without them. But you know what? Good for you, pile one. Go and kill it. You deserve it. We have text message, communication, news, phone call, direct message. It wouldn't surprise me if this person has tried multiple ways to come back into your life. And I feel like this tarot reader told them that you're not going to be answering any of those, but they still have just ignored that, and they're going out of their way to try and connect with you. This person, again, they have not healed, and I feel like you know that, but you're also in this energy of just too little too late. It just doesn't matter anymore. I'm done with that chapter in my life. I'm moving on and I'm moving up, right? Shout out to my ex. Yeah, new love. Wow. Embrace an opportunity for love in your work prospects or for spiritual growth. We're going to read this from the book. Yeah, you've got new love coming in, and it doesn't have to be a relationship, right? It could very well be someone who's going to be there with you through thick and thin, which you absolutely deserve, pile one. But I do feel like first and foremost, with how the 6th house coming out twice, I feel like this is you just finding a newfound love for the things that you do on the daily. Everything has a season. Get ready, as someone special is now in your life. If you're in a relationship, there's a burst of fresh energy coming into your partnership. This could also mean fresh enthusiasm in the place of employment or wonderful opportunities coming your way. You may feel like you're in a rut. You may have closed your heart to possibilities or opportunities and feel that there's nothing new or adventurous out there for you. The most wonderful promise is that each day comes a new beginning, and put the past behind you. Look forward to the energy that is coming into your life. Didn't I say that? You put the past, you close that chapter in your life. You put it behind you. It's over with. Look around you and engage with those you meet with an open mind and spirit. Try to learn something new about the people in your life. Enhance your chances of making new connections by engaging with positive people you already know. Initiate interactions in social gatherings. You never know where it might lead. Shooting stars fall into the hands of... Oh, okay, so it's just explaining the card. It says, this may be a reminder of a time when you welcome new things into your life. Can you remember the excitement you felt when you were venturing into something new? Yeah, so there's just a huge opportunity ahead for you. There's a lot of beautiful things on the horizon for you. And that's what this tarot reader told this person, that you're just in the best time, the best stage of your life. And look, pile one, live it up. I'm living it up. Right? We've got Ja Rule coming in. We've got The Good Life. I don't remember who sings that song, but it's The Good Life. You know, like, all these good things are coming to you. You must be a musician, or you really love music, or you just use your jam. That's cool. I love that, right? I love that. But yes, keep doing you. It sucks that you had to experience this with this person, but let me tell you, pile one, I'm so proud of you for finding yourself. Because seeing you glow up and seeing you shine, that is inspiration, and that is so amazing, and I'm truly honored I got to connect with you in this way. So if you feel like this is your reading, leave the little shooting star emoji down below and say, I made my wish on a shooting star, and it is happening in this here now here moment. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, check out the description box. It has everything you need, including how to reach me for your personal reading, as well as how to join as a member here on the channel. With that, I do want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this incredibly amazing message, albeit a little hard. But until next time, pile number one, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this beautiful bloodstone, or if you were drawn to this dice with Uranus on it, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be a reading on someone got a tarot reading on you, and here's what it said. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of the journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and space with you. And for those of you that are new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. And should these messages happen to resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you are truly new here, we do things completely differently around here. So I suggest strapping in, hanging on, and you and I are going to find out together. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hop to it and find out what was the tarot reading that someone got on pile number 2. What did it say, Source? What did the tarot reading that this person got on pile number 2 say? What would you like to share with us today, Source? What did it say about pile number 2? Okay, we've got Venus, Sagittarius, and the 9th house. You're a very spiritual person. You're also someone who's incredibly intelligent and witty and smart. You are very magnetic, and you have a lot of suitors or people who are interested in connecting with you. Not necessarily always for the right reasons, but you do get a lot of attention. They told them that you're very connected. You may have psychic abilities. You may be incredibly intuitive. I do just feel like that's just it. Like, you've built up your spiritual gifts, and you're working on building up your spiritual gifts. And they're leading you to abundance of all different kinds of things, right? It's not necessarily material, but spiritual abundance, emotional abundance, and physical abundance. They said that you're incredibly adventurous, and that you are also very philosophical, and you are very aware of things that a lot of people aren't. You tap into nuances, spiritual nuances, and emotional nuances that other people are just completely oblivious to. Also, I'm getting that energy like Aphrodite. You're someone who loves yourself deeply, but you're not necessarily gonna fall in love with anyone else, right? That girl a heartbreaker. Should be your own supporter, yeah. Money, eat, money, money. What is it? Money, eat, money, sleep, money, in that order. This is Bryce Vane, I think. Glamour Rama. That's the name of the song. Because she's too pretty to really ever give a... Yeah, she ain't gonna fall in love. Yeah, okay, so that's what they're saying. Like, you're too attractive, you're too spiritual to really even care about love in general, like what people are seeing as love. But that you're someone that if someone showed up in the right energy, that you would be willing to give them that chance. So this tarot reader explained to them that you're also incredibly connected to the divine, and that there is no pulling one over on you, right? They either show up correct or you don't show up at all, and that's the energy that's coming through with the dice here. I love how adventurous you are and how it's coming out in the dice as well. Like, you are someone who doesn't mind going out and skipping around in the rain and singing, singing in the rain. Man, this reading is very musical today already. Like, even pile 1 was incredibly musical, so I don't know, I guess maybe this tarot reader that they got was very musical. I don't know. We're just going to go with it. Or Source just really talks to everybody on this reading a lot through songs. So I do feel like you're just very free-spirited, and that's what's coming through, and that's what the tarot reader told them, is that you are very, very let me try again. You are very free-spirited. Sometimes you just gotta roll with the weirdness and go in it. I also feel like you're very goofy, and that's what they told them. You're also letting go of a lot of things that were traumatizing from your past, so that you can be emotionally available, but for yourself first and foremost, right? Alright, Source. Someone got a tarot reading on pile number 2. What did it say about pile number 2? Thank you. What did it say about pile number 2, Source? What would you like to share? Thank you. What did it say about pile number 2, Source? Whoa, thank you. Yeah, okay, we've got the 7 of Swords on the bottom in the reverse. That sometimes you overthink things a lot, and that you have been in really difficult situations because of that overthinking. And that's something that you've been working on and trying to balance out that it's not about, you know, overthinking, it's about feeling into it. And I feel like that's why you're getting so sharp with feeling the spiritual nuances around you, is because you're trying to figure out those spiritual nuances within yourself. What is my intuition trying to tell me? What is my intuition sharing with me in this moment? Is this something that's aligned with me? Is this something that I'm meant to go through? Well, with the Seven of Swords here, it does talk about getting involved in lost causes. And you may have had a lot of bad situations happen to you in life, or had a lot of things fall through, or been betrayed by a lot of people, or had a lot of broken hearts. You know, it could be anything. This could have to do with work. We're not quite sure who this person is just yet, but we'll see if it does come out in the reading. Yeah, the Wheel of Fortune. The Nine of Wands. Popular card today. And the Five of Wands. Literally, this came out in the same position in the reading I just did. Except today, for you, pile 2. No, it's in the same position. Interesting. Starting over has been the biggest help for you. That's where you found the most freedom, was being able to start over, even though it was hard and even though it was difficult. I do feel like maybe some of you, pile number 2, have dealt with some sort of sickness, or maybe sickness around you, and you had to come to terms with what was going on, whether someone was very ill or you yourself got very ill, and you had to come to terms with that. And when there was an opportunity for you to not move on for the sake of moving away from the sickness, but to try again, to start again, maybe take better care of your health, maybe take better care of your well-being. But I do feel like this has to do with the physical temple and the mental body. You did that, and you rebalanced your life, and you found luck in the hardships, in opportunity in the hardships. And that's what makes you so unique, because you're not worried about the difficult times that life has. Maybe you know, seen someone overcome, like they're telling me cancer here, or maybe you lost someone to cancer, or maybe you yourself have had cancer and it's in remission. And you know, like that's what they're saying here. It's like there's something that's very, very difficult that you experienced, or that you saw with your own 2 eyes, and it made you appreciate life, and it made you appreciate the value of life and how precious it is. And you could be a Sagittarius. We have tons of Sagittarius energy here. We have Sagittarius, Sagittarius, and Pisces, Sagittarius, and Sagittarius coming out here. Okay, so you could be Sagittarius, have a Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Sagittarius in the 10th house, Sagittarius in the 9th house, the 7th house, the 5th house, the 12th house. You could have a 12th, what is it, a stellium in the 12th house. Okay, interesting. A stellium in the 9th house too. Interesting. That was just, I still am not clear on what all those mean, so that's just for someone who understands that. And if you all are wondering, I'm still learning astrology too, so that's a whole nother iceberg for a whole nother time. But yeah, I feel like, and maybe you're someone who studies astrology, maybe you're someone who really loves that, like that's what's given you a new beginning, is understanding your blueprint when you were born and what that means for you as you're moving forward in life. And you feel like you've had your ups and downs, and this tarot reader is explaining that to them, that you had situations where you thought people were going to show up for you, you thought people were going to support you, and they didn't. And it left you on the brink of destruction and on the brink of chaos in your own life. And you had to learn how to rely on yourself, and you had to rely on your trust and your faith in the divine. Yeah. And letting go of self-sabotaging ways. Sagittarius energy once again. So Sagittarius is very clearly coming out in this reading. This person could be a Sagittarius, or you could have Sagittarius energy highly aspect in your chart. Okay. But we see that here. It's like the lost causes was part of the emotional ego taking over. And part of that was your weakness. That was your Achilles heel, right? That was the thing that was getting you. It's like maybe wanting to heal everybody, or wanting everybody to be inspired, or wanting everybody to succeed, and it was always about everybody else and you putting yourself on the back burner. And then if you did get sick, or if this sickness came into your life, say it was a family member or something like that, someone you deeply love, right? So take it as it resonates. But I do feel like this was sickness that came into your life, and that really put things in perspective for you. Maybe it was because you couldn't heal this person. You couldn't save this person from themselves. Like, you know, if it was like addiction, or if it was something like that, where it's like, I'm going to put you in rehab and you're going to get better, and I'm going to make sure that this happens for you. And then realizing that you can do all of those things, but at the end of the day, if that person doesn't make the choice to heal themselves, it's absolutely not pointless. I mean, I would never say that going through that is pointless, but it's absolutely heart-wrenching when you watch someone slide back into their addiction after having gone through the process of rehabilitation. And that's what this feels like. Or it's like watching someone get healthy again and then trying everything in your power to keep that person healthy. Like, we're going to eat right, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And you were always putting yourself on the back burner. That's what this tarot reader is telling them, is like, you're always someone that put other people first, and you had to learn how to take care of yourself, right? Self-care with Venus coming in here. So I was saying, like, that self-love that's happened, where it's like, it's not about falling in love with another person now. It's literally about knowing that my toxic pattern, or my toxic behavior, was my Achilles heel, was my weakness, and that was my self-sabotage, was making sure that everyone else was okay at the cost of my own health. And maybe that's something else that came in, is that you took care of someone so much, or you took care of so many other people, that it was at the cost of your own health. But health is a huge thing that's coming in here. Maybe you work in the health industry, maybe you're a doctor or a nurse or something like that. But, and which with the 9th house, that's not surprising at all. You could be in the law industry as well, a lawyer or a paralegal or a judge, something along those lines. But there's this energy where it was like realizing that if you're putting everyone else first and you're not giving to yourself, you're the one that's suffering and no one's coming to your rescue. And when you realize this, you understood that giving this energy back to yourself was first and foremost. And in giving all of that energy back to yourself, you began to see the truth of where people were. It's like giving yourself self-love and saying, I have to take care of me because I'm sick. And all the people that were so used to receiving your assistance now suddenly are turning against you. You began to see that truth, and that, I feel like, really broke your heart. But I also feel like it showed you the truth that this was all a lost cause. I was doing all of this help. I was doing all of this stuff for others. I was putting forth all this energy for others, and it didn't really do anything. It didn't change them. It didn't inspire them. But sure as crap, they felt your absence when you left. And so that's what this tarot reader is telling them, that everybody that knows you, if they have had an agenda with you, when you leave, which eventually you will, because, right, nobody deserves to get breadcrumbed. Everybody that knows you that's felt you leave has felt that absence. It's like a wormhole. It's a vacuum that's unfillable. And that you're moving on and experiencing very beautiful things in life, and also having to balance your emotions, right? After the challenge, balancing the emotions was maybe one of the most difficult things too, because it's having to come to terms with the parts of yourself that, you know, like, I feel like I'm a good person, and I feel like helping people is that's what's good. That's good in my heart. But we can only help people who want to help themselves. And sometimes that's the biggest lesson for someone who's a people pleaser and someone who's also an empath. We have the 5th house coming out here with passion, play, create, children, confidence, and creativity. Yeah, and look with the music notes. Yeah, so maybe you sing, or you love singing, you love to connect via music. But I feel like there's this energy now around you where you're doing things that you love, and you're feeling more confident, right? More courageous in who you are as a person, and recognizing that I don't have to put my own well-being on the back burner just for everyone else. Even if that's the job, even if that's what others are asking me, it's okay for me to say no. And you're saying no more frequently now as a way of self-care and setting up those solid boundaries. And it's not saying no to things that are important to you. It's saying no to people who have a history of taking advantage, while also it's setting boundaries with new people and letting them know, like, I'm not here to be taken advantage of. Yeah, love. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. Like, you're just a very loving person. You're so genuine and kind-hearted and giving, and you're a healer in ways. And people, sometimes when they find healers, they take advantage of that. And I feel like this tarot reader is telling this person that you've been brokenhearted too many times by people who you thought loved you. And now it's all about you loving yourself. Wow, we have part of fortune. Tap into your talents. So you're definitely tapping into what it is that you're meant to be doing. So something that you're putting your time, your energy, and your effort towards is absolutely something that you're meant to be doing. And it's bringing you part of fortune, that good luck, right? Open to the infinite possibility. Yeah, finding balance again. Getting temperance energy with this, but finding balance and opening up to that balance. And knowing that if you say no and someone isn't happy about you saying no, knowing now that that's not your problem. Like, that's not your fault. That has nothing to do with you. Yeah, turn knowledge into wisdom. So now you're freely able to move forward, knowing that I can choose to see things the way that is going to benefit me, or I can choose to see things as I'm a victim and everything is happening to me. And I feel like you're turning this wisdom into knowledge, or this knowledge into wisdom, and it's giving you insight exactly on how you should be living your life, which again, being very connected, being very spiritual, right? Having that gift. And very abundant. Good luck. You are a very abundant person. And that's why you're not easily reached as well, because, you know, an abundance doesn't have to necessarily be financial abundance. It absolutely could be. But I do feel like for your case, pile number 2, that abundance is so much more than financial abundance. It's also like spiritual abundance and mental abundance and emotional abundance. You know, these things that are stability and maturity. And through that, it's like my peace is everything, and I'm not going to let my peace be at the whims of someone else's antics. We have athlete here. Dedication to transcending physical limits, including handicaps. Development of personal willpower and strength of spirit. The shadow is misuse of athletic abilities for selfish ends, a false sense of invulnerability, and entitlement. Yeah. So people felt entitled to your energy before, and you recognizing that has helped you let go of those individuals. We're getting like purpose energy, so I'm going to grab a purpose card, maybe a few of these. Source, can we get a couple of, okay, so a whole grip of them flipped over. We've got flowers. Working with flowers opens your heart and brings blessings to others through your life purpose. So you could be a florist working with flowers. Music, of course music came out. Your connection to music is healing for yourself and others, again pointing towards you're a healer. And we have study. Reading, research, education help you gain confidence and clarity about your career. And the 9th house is all about learning and higher education as well. So that makes total sense that these would come out. I think the only oddball, if you will, is the flowers one, but it's not, because flowers is getting in touch with nature, and that's getting in touch with the divine. On the bottom, we have support. Your life purpose fully supports you. Yeah, and again, with the health energy here, with the caduceus, right? So something about health and finding that support through your life purpose. I feel like you had to really let go of something that was holding you back, and something that was maybe convincing you of something that wasn't real, like there was an illusion here, and having to let that go for good and know that you can support yourself. Yeah, your peace is everything. Harmony, order, calmness, and serenity. You do not give up your peace for anybody. And you shouldn't. Never should you. Like, that's not, you know, oh, this person is so attractive, I should give up my peace for them. No, that's not how this works. Or this person, they're so far along in life, I should give up my peace for them. No, not at all. So we have dream, desire, omen, nightmare, and fantasy. Like, you're a walking dream, but you can also be a walking nightmare. I do feel like you also get premonitions, or you get messages through your dreams, and that you're very serious about maybe studying dreams or doing dream work along those lines, or that that's something that's interesting to you. Maybe it's just a little hobby that you do on the side. Also, I just saw the owl here on the study card. Yeah. So definitely something where you're getting messages from the spirit realm, and maybe your dreams help you kind of dissect where you're at in life so that you can make the proper choices for yourself. We've got on the bottom, manipulate, use, arrangement, and strategy. People manipulated you many, many times, and what it left you with was a strategy outside of this world. It's like, okay, what is the best comeback to a manipulator is to have strategy, and you've learned it. And that may sound strange, but it's not at all. Like, you know how to step forward in this life. You also let people show up exactly as they are, and your strategy is based on that. It's like, okay, if this person shows up like this, you're 10 steps ahead already. We're not playing checkers, we're playing chess. So we're gonna get with that program. Okay, on the bottom of this, we have liquid courage. Wow, I was talking about addiction. We have bravery, confidence, intoxication, or intoxicated and odd behavior. This card can also point towards addiction as well. So maybe there is somebody, you know, that's why I said, I'm feeling like someone was maybe an addict in your life, and that there's a lot of manipulation with addicts. It's like, I can't remember. I was watching this show the other day, and he's like, I'm going to go and I'm going to check into rehab, and I'm going to get clean. And the I think it was his stepfather. His stepfather said, do you mean it? And he looked at me and says, I always mean it when I say it. I always mean it. But then the cravings set in, and the cravings, that's what they become, is their craving. They're not the person who agreed with that to go and heal themselves, right? And so even if it's not an addiction, this could have been a mental illness or sickness that was in your family, where it was like, when they were coherent and when they were lucid, they were themselves and they made these promises, but then when they weren't, they were just an entirely different person that would break you down. I know it's a very specific message, but that's what's coming through, especially with that liquid courage card. So we do have the family card coming out here with generations, children, ancestors, and origin. So pointing at, this could have been family that got sick, or family that you had to see go through this. Or it could have been family that turned their back on you when you needed help. We have between the lines, hidden meaning, vague, speculate, and implicit. You're always reading between the lines. And I feel like this tarot reader told this person that there's no getting one over on you. And I feel like I said that with the dice as well in the beginning. Like, there's just not pulling one over on you. You already know, like, again, you're playing that strategy. You know where people are coming from. You've already thought of different outcomes, and you act accordingly. So it's like, if someone shows up correct, you're like, okay, I'm going to show up this way. But if someone shows up sideways, I'm going to act this way. And it's never against, it's never being cruel or ruthless to people. It's just basically sidestepping and letting them do whatever they're going to do without you being involved. That's what this feels like. Gemini, look at that. Didn't I say you're very intelligent? Curiosity, intellect, and networking. You're incredibly intelligent. You're very wise. And you communicate in a very different way. It's very cohesive, the way that you're talking. And you maybe sometimes trip people up because you sound incredibly educated. You could have absolutely gone to college. You could have gotten, a degree in literature or degree in linguistics as well. You could be a language major. You could have the ability to speak multiple languages, but it's like your ability to speak is very proper and different from how people talk today, right? Everybody's learning slang, and slang is becoming its own language in and of itself. And when people talk to you, it's like they're almost brought to attention to listen to you. Judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. So you've definitely been judged for choosing self-love. And that's what this tarot reader told this person. You've been judged for choosing yourself, and it's been harsh. And that there was nothing wrong with you choosing yourself, but other people did believe that. Regret. I know that I cannot change the past. What was I saying? When people feel the absence of your energy, it's like a vacuum. They regret what they did, but they also aren't in a place where they're willing to show up in a different energy. Acceptance. I'm learning to accept the things I cannot change. And I feel like that's what it is. And why do I hear the prayer, the serenity prayer? What is it? God grant me the grace to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to accept the things I cannot change, the grace to know the things I can't, the knowledge to know the things I cannot, and the grace to decipher. I don't remember how the Lord's Prayer goes, but is that what the Lord's Prayer is? The Serenity Prayer. The Serenity Prayer. That's what I'm hearing. Don't they say that in AA or in any of them? You know, whatever they are, the meetings. Don't they say that in the meetings too? Wow. Okay. Like, it was coming in really strong, and it came in with this card. But I do. Maybe you had a past with addiction. And maybe you're attending meetings, and that's something that's a part of your life, and you had to learn how to choose yourself over friends who were in those still toxic behaviors. Okay, so that's also coming through. Air, take a bird's eye view. Yeah, you're seeing things clearly now. You're seeing things from this very sound space, and recognizing that I don't have to put up with the old energy anymore. And that's also that seeing 6 or 7 moves ahead, right? We're playing checkers, or we're playing chess, not checkers. Balance. You had to bring that balance. Didn't I talk about that in the beginning? The balance. You had to balance out your energy. And trust. This came out in pile number 1 too. Maybe you watched both pile 1 and pile 2, which thank you so much if you did. And if you didn't, you might have been drawn to pile number 1 as well. There might be additional messages for you, but just know it's never a requirement to watch more than one pile with me. If you choose to, I appreciate it. If you don't, I still appreciate you being here, okay? So we've got child nature, friendships with animals, communication with nature spirits. We have tendency to abuse animals, people, and the environment. So I do feel like you've been through abuse. I feel like you've been through, and that could be neglect. It could be emotional abuse. It could be emotional, neglect. It could be anything like that. You could have been through some difficult times that really have helped you to connect with your inner child now. But you're healing, right? We got the 5th house on the bottom of the deck over here, which is all about healing the inner child. Now that you're healing the inner child, you're truly coming into a space of self-acceptance, and you might find that your best friends are with the animals around you, and that's okay. Like, you've come to accept that. And I feel like that's what this tarot reader is telling this person. You're not looking for love anytime soon. You're not looking for people to come into your life. It's all about, I'm willing to let things happen if they happen, but I'm not going out chasing it. I'm not going out and making it happen in my life. I'm literally in this space of accepting where I'm at and okay with where I am. Yeah, eternity, immortality, frozen, infinity, and curse. Yeah, and I do feel like you're actually looking a lot younger as well with this eternity energy. There's this energy where it's like, if not, you're definitely embracing the childlike nature of yourself, and so aging has stopped, right? You're going back to having fun. You're going back to enjoying life again. We have snake, deception, shady, temptation, and enemy. Yeah, you've dealt with a lot of shady people. Deceptive people, too. And again, if maybe if you had an addict in your life, or if you were the addict, right? Knowing that this absolutely is that embodiment at that time when the cravings are speaking for you, the addiction is speaking for you, rather than you speaking for you, right? And understanding that. And sometimes that's hard for people to differentiate. Like, we have to get with that understanding that it's the addiction that's speaking. This is not this person that's speaking. But it's also hard because there's still a lot of hurt and pain that goes with that, a lot of manipulation that goes with that. But I do feel like you've come into this place of true acceptance of, I can't change that. I can't change where maybe that person's at, or I can't change the things that I did. I can atone for them by choosing to align with my higher self, or this, I can choose to leave this person behind because I have to take care of myself. So, or it could have been sickness, right? And it could have been sickness that was causing another person to act very shady in your life. We're going to read this from the book. Wow, we've got like attracts like. If you long for more love, be more loving. This is the duality card, right? So it's honoring the shadow within us while also accepting the light, and recognizing that without one, the other ceases to exist. And if we're constantly trying to rid ourselves of the shadow, we're also ridding ourselves from the beautiful experiences that we can have through enlightenment. And I feel like that's a part of your process too, is accepting the duality of life. So if you had an addict in your life, or if you were an addict, there was someone who was sick in your life, or you were the person who was sick, right? Accepting that this is a part of this life, and accepting that, you know, while maybe no one deserved to go through this, right? With the like attracts like, that there's still something within me that I can choose to heal and still integrate, knowing that that is a part of this journey and it's part of the process. I also feel like this is what came to realization for you when you recognize that people were using you, or that were taking advantage of you. Realizing like attracts like, being okay with people pleasing and letting others take advantage of you is what was creating a situation for people to take advantage of you. And so there's definitely this inner knowing where it's like, I have to stand up and say no, because people aren't going to stop unless I do something for myself. And that's a very powerful place to be. Okay, so it says, the law of attraction states that you need to be in the vibration of what you want to create. Love will come to you more readily if you surround yourself with love and easily find things to love about yourself. We were talking about that, loving yourself. You're in this state of loving yourself. Take a moment to think of the many things you love. Use your imagination and visualize a world in which you can manifest your heart's desires. Try not to seek out whatever it is that you wish for. This is the challenging aspect of the law of attraction. Didn't I say that? Like, you're not going to chase the things that you want. You're going to allow it to happen. Yeah, I love this confirmation. Act as if what you yearn for is already here. Giving attention to or waiting for what you are longing for sends a message to the universe that you don't possess your desires, and you will magnetize not having it. You attract to your life things that mirror your thoughts. This would explain why the fairy is holding an image of herself. Fairies symbolize the magic that life has to offer. This is a card of hope and a reminder that magic is readily at hand when you shift into a place of positive patience. Okay, so positive patience. And that's where you're at right now. I feel like you're very patient for things. Like, you're not trying to rush anything either. And trusting that as you're balancing out your energy, things will find a way, right? And number 2 is all about trusting the process. And you got the trust card here as well. So ultimately, I feel like this is what this tarot reader told this person about you. It's just you're in a space of really aligning with your highest self and your highest good, and balancing out the things that weren't so good for you before. But you're also standing in a very powerful place where you're not worried about whether or not you're going to attract love, friendship, positions, whatever it is. You're not worried about it because you already know it's your worth. And that is incredible to be in, right? So this is what I see here for you, pile number 2. And you got, I love this, so many synchronicities. You got the 2 card here and your pile number 2. If you felt like this resonated for you, leave the little scale emoji down below and say, through trusting the process and balancing out my energy, I now am attracting to me all the things that I desire and dream of. I never have to chase. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, check out the description box. It has everything you need, including how to reach me for your personal reading, as well as how to join as a member here on the channel. And with that, I do want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this very powerful message. And until next time, pile number 2, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this beautiful piece of quartz, if you were drawn to this dice with the North Node on it, or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be a reading on someone got a tarot reading on you, and here's what it said. I do want to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and this space with you, and anybody new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. And should these messages happen to resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe down below. And if you are truly new here, we do things completely differently on this channel, so I suggest strapping in, hanging on, and you and I are going to find out together. So with that, let's hop to it and find out. Source, what was said on this tarot reading that someone got on pile number 3? Someone got a tarot reading on pile number 3. Source, what did it say? What would you like to share with us today? Okay, so we've got the second house, we've got Scorpio energy, and we've got Venus. Interesting. So Taurus and Scorpio, I heard North Node, South Node in Taurus or Scorpio. Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus in Taurus or Scorpio. Also Libra energy, 10th house Libra, 5th house Libra, 2nd house Scorpio, 2nd house and Gemini is coming through as well. Okay. So this tarot reader told this person that you are someone who's very, very loyal. And you are very stable in your chaos. Right? It's like someone who, it's like organized chaos, you know, when you go into someone's house and they say don't touch anything, even though there might be stacks of things everywhere, and they're like, no, don't. I know exactly where everything is, because if someone came in and organized it, it would just be chaos for you. And that's exactly what this feels like. You know exactly where everything's at, and you know exactly how things are. But also with the Scorpio energy, you're someone who's very mysterious and secretive, and that you're not out here trying to share every little bit or every little detail of your life with people. You like to be private. You like to be, you know, with yourself and with your thoughts. And you've had enough time in your life. Maybe you've had situations where you've gotten revenge on people, or have let the want of revenge to drive you, which is very human. There's no blame here, no shame, right? It's something that I feel like we as humans go through, but especially if you have Scorpio in your chart, it's hard not to feel that way sometimes, because Scorpio in their shadow is very vengeful. And, you know, coming with the Scorpio moon, I know exactly how that is. So your emotional well-being is affected by it, right? But with this energy, I do feel like they told them that you are also someone who is working on balancing out your energy and loving yourself and freeing yourself from the shadows of the past that were controlling your emotional well-being or controlling your emotional ego, and that you are someone who has come into a time of abundance in your life, and you're thriving and you're glowing, and you're also incredibly mysterious to people around you, which makes you incredibly attractive. And people want to know more about you, but you don't really give them a whole lot to go on. Even though for you, you might be like, no, I'm a total open book. Like if they ask me a question, I answer it. But maybe it's not about the answer, the right answer. It's about the right question, right? And for you, that's exactly what I feel like is your life. It's not about the right answer. It's about asking the right question. If you don't ask what you really want to know, I'm not going to go out of my way and share that with you, but I will answer the question that you ask. And that's the type of energy that you're in. So maybe this is someone who is trying to get some information from you by asking a series of questions that were beating around the bush, if you will, and they thought that you were just going to go ahead and answer exactly what they wanted, but you never did. And it might not be, but that is coming through. So let's get some tarot out on it and see what's coming through. I do feel like at times you're very stubborn And that was mentioned as well in the reading, that you do have a stubborn streak about you, but it's not without just cause. Like, you've had experiences in your life that have made you stubborn, like not liking change or having trouble with change, right? And that has put you in that energy of wanting things to be a certain way or wanting to look a certain way. You do like the finer things in life. So you enjoy going to the movies, or you enjoy going to art shows, or you enjoy luxurious perfumes or colognes or luxurious soaps. You like to get a massage regularly. You like to get your hair done and your nails done regularly. You definitely live a luxurious life, what some would look at as a luxurious life, but for you it's more about self-care, and sometimes you look at it as hygiene as well, but I feel like it's just because these are the things you like to do to take care of yourself, and there's nothing wrong with that. So they may have said that you're a bit of high maintenance, but I also feel like that's not necessarily like an insult to you, because it's like you deserve to like what you like, and you deserve to have what you want to have, right? And I feel like for you, you're like, yeah, I had to become high maintenance because maybe there was a point in time in your life where you weren't, because you weren't taking care of yourself the way that you needed to, or the way that you could have been, and that taught you a very difficult lesson. So Source, what was said about pile number 3 during this tarot reading? Okay, it wants to be this way. We'll take it. Okay, Source, what was said about pile number 3 during this tarot reading? Yeah, you've had a lot of emotional exhaustion in your life. Dealing with a lot of arguments as well. I feel like people want to argue with you everywhere you go. It would not surprise me if people in your family said to become a lawyer, like you should become a lawyer, or you should do something with where they could benefit from you because you like to argue, like debates or political gains or something like that. It wouldn't surprise me if someone in the family told you should do that, and maybe you looked into it, maybe you tried it, but I feel like it was just deadening to your soul. So, yeah, with the Ten of Swords here, there's been a lot of arguments in your life. Maybe you come from a very argumentative family. You come from a relationship that was very argumentative, very abusive, and very defensive, like a need to be defensive, which has created a lot of emotional exhaustion in your life, and which is why you also go out of your way to take care of yourself, because maybe when you were in situations like this, you weren't able to take care of yourself. And now you're able to take care of yourself, and that gives you a sense of peace. And it also gives you a sense of control for yourself. And that feels good, right? It's not about controlling others, but I feel like through this you've learned that if I can control how I take care of myself, and if I can control myself, then I'll be okay. But maybe this is coming off of where wanting to control another person, or feeling in control, or being controlled by another person. Okay? Yeah, okay, so this could have been a love relationship. This could be the person that was controlling you and they want to know. But I do feel like also they're showing here with the Six of Cups on the bottom is that you're destined for a soulmate relationship. The Six of Cups in the Tarot Marseille is a much deeper love card than the Two of Cups to me. Because it talks about building something of substance. Not just, oh, we love each other and let's see where it goes. No, this is showing like a lifetime built on love, respect, consistency, support, having the difficult conversations, having those difficult moments, but still not losing oneself in them, right? So there's a lot more to the Six of Cups than there is the Two of Cups, and there's a lot more stability built on that as well. You see this is very foundational structure in the Six of Cups, and so with that, it's showing that you're meant to experience some sort of foundational love. Now, granted, it does not have to be romantic love. Although this does point towards romantic love, it could be friendship. It could be a partnership that you're supposed to experience. Not everybody is out here looking for romantic love, and I appreciate that. So I do feel like whatever it is that resonates with you, this is what they were telling them, is that you're meant to have someone in your life that builds up with you in your life, that isn't going to leave you high and dry, or that isn't going to walk away because you see things a certain way. And they're not going to sit here and argue with you about certain things. Like, you have the difficult conversations with this person. This person has the difficult conversations with you. You both are able to come together and find common ground to have those conversations. This person may even be in your life right now. This could be the person who got the reading on you, but it doesn't have to be. Yeah, we have the Seven of Swords. Okay, and we have the Knight of Wands. You've moved on from this part of your life. This was the closing of a chapter for you. The closing of the chapter was learning that you could persevere through hard things, and that made you more resilient. And resilience comes from adversity. While adversity is necessary in our earthly experience, it doesn't make it any easier. One moment. Adversity is oftentimes the thing that leaves us wondering what the heck is wrong with us and why did I have to experience this? But after all is said and done, we've learned some very valuable things about ourselves and about what we do and we don't want in our lives. And you've done that. You've gone through something that was very harrowing, very troublesome, very difficult, a betrayal of some sort that left you completely broken and confused about what life even meant. And that could be a broken heart from a relationship. That could be a broken heart from a friendship, from a family situationship as well. And through that, you had to learn to rely on your logic, but also what you were feeling towards people, and not letting that become the control of. So it's like, oh, I have a romantic feelings for this person, and I'm going to let that be the lead for me and totally oversweep any red flags. Like, you had to learn not to let that be the leading role for you in your journey. And you're recognizing now that you don't have to keep repeating these cycles. That you can choose to do something different. I also feel like you recognize this as a generational curse within your family. Your ancestors are very connected with you, Pile 3. And I feel like they definitely are leading you towards your happiness. And they're leading you towards your destiny and your purpose as well. And that this is something that is written in the stars, yes, but ultimately you'll be the deciding factor in whether or not, or whatever it is that you choose, and whether or not that happens. And that's okay. They want you to be in control of that. Again, when you have control over you, you feel much better. You're realizing it's not about controlling other people, which is what might have been a part of your past beliefs or your own toxic behaviors from the past, is trying to control others with the Ten of Swords here, or learned behavior, right? This could have come from family, a learned behavior, which we do see patterns repeating here. And you had to move away from this and trust that there was something better and more aligned with you. And now you're this very strong person, and you'll fight your own battles. You won't wait for someone to come in and save you. And you're not looking for someone to come in and save you. You're standing very firm in your divine power, masculine and feminine balance here. And you're not afraid to tell things like they are, not in a cruel way. I do feel like you're a very loving person, a very kind person, but you're also not going to let people get the best of you and put you back into a self-sabotaging energy with the King of Wands here. Yeah, you're very clearly in a position of leadership in your life. And again, that doesn't necessarily mean you're leading other people. What it means is that you're leading yourself. And in leading yourself, you're inspiring others to lead themselves as well. And that is very inspiring. You have very special qualities, and you do receive appreciation for your qualities. And you're assuming responsibility, maybe for others, maybe for children, maybe for family. But you're looked up to, and people respect you because you're very emotionally mature and sound. But it's because of you healing this past, right? And it's because of you letting go and putting down the wand, right? The relay wand here. I'm not going to carry this relay wand anymore. I carried it for long enough. My family has carried it for long enough. And you doing that has started to clear the lineage for you. And so if you're taking care of children, right, and you're the leader and you're with your children, you're helping them see things from a different way, and that's empowering to you and your family. You're following your passions here, and you're advancing, even if there's slow motion, like you're still advancing. I don't know why I heard that song, slow motion for me, move it slow motion for me. Whoa, I like it like that. She working that back. Okay, it's such a dirty song, but I know it's coming through. And so maybe you're listening to that right now, or maybe that's a song that's been stuck in your head for a few days. So that's a very specific message coming in. Okay. But yeah, I do feel like it's been slow. It's been slow moving. Everything that you're doing has been slow moving, but you're also seeing progress, and that progress is making you feel good about where you're at. And you're very focused and determined to make sure that you reach your goals. And you're winning a fight here before you couldn't win, right? You're evenly matched. You were evenly matched with this person. You both were in maybe your shadow, or it's like maybe you're trying to convince this person of their shadow, whatever it was. Like there was just this argument here, and I do feel like this could be family. Again, this is giving me family vibes, right? But it doesn't have to be family. It could have just been a partner. It could have been a friend. It could have been whatever. There's a deep betrayal here. Okay, and through that, it's like recognizing that I don't have to stay in this. If I'm standing in my power, then I'm going to be able to win the fights that I need to, while also coming from this very compassionate place. I'm in control of me, and that's the only thing that matters. And as long as I'm in control of me, then I don't have to worry about everyone else. And so this tarot reader is telling this person of how strong you are, and how you're no longer trying to worry about where everyone else is coming from, but you do focus on what that means to you when other people show up crooked in your energy. What does that mean to you? What does that mean to me right now? What do I need to do in regards to this, right? And this is after having a lot of conflicting interests, and there was a long battle here and no clear outcome. And you needed to find an ally who would help you with this problem, but I feel like you had to learn how to do it on your own. You had to figure it out on your own. There was no help that was coming, right? Again, I'm not waiting for my knight in shining armor. I'm realizing I have to take care of this for myself. I'm realizing I have to save myself in this situation. Yeah, we have the moon coming out, satisfying emotional needs, nurturing the self and others. You had to save yourself from your own emotional havoc that was in your mind, right? Your own thoughts, the negativity that was overwhelming you. The Sagittarius energy with optimism, exploration, and freedom. Yeah. Excuse me. This could be a father wound coming in as well, I'm hearing, for someone. Whoa. Stay there, homie. Okay, so you're going to get 2 of these. Look, we have Venus coming out again. Oh, you're getting 4. I thought this was 2. We have Venus with attracting abundance. So again, you're in this place of being very abundant, very prosperous at this time. We have Vesta, fuel your inner fire. You're learning to follow your passions. We have fire, do it with passion. Exactly. Like, I can't make that up. And then we have the 3rd house. Take a good look around. What was I saying? Like, you're observing. How does this affect me? How does this person show up affect me? And that's not a bad thing, right? That's basically saying, is this something that I need to face head on, or is this something I need to hightail out of here? And you're doing it with grace. So we have the 2nd house. Know what really matters. So we have the 2nd house again. So we got Venus in the 2nd house again. Heavy Taurian energy as well. So you could have Taurus highly aspect in your chart as well. All right, let's see what's going on here. But you are absolutely in this time of abundance right now in your life, attracting good things. And that's what they're telling them, is that you're very abundant and you're not giving that abundance up for anyone. This has kind of been an underlying message for the whole reading. Different messages each pile, but this has been like the underlying message is not giving up my abundance for anybody because, you know, just because. And as always, if you've watched all 3 piles, leave a purple heart down below. That's for the Purple Heart Club. I know what that means, or just say I made it. And I truly appreciate those of you that spend the whole reading with me. And even for those of you that spend one reading with me, I just really do appreciate you having, you know, spending this time here with me. Yeah, we've got Peacock Spirit. Let it shine. Your heart healing right now. You've ended some sort of toxic cycle in your life, and now you're able to see clearly who you are and what it is that you want from life. I feel like you thought, you know, before, you thought no one would hurt you the way that this person did or the way that this situation did. But them doing that, or the situation doing that to you, gave you such clarity. Even though no one deserves to go through that, I do feel like you don't regret it. Yeah, determination. You're a very determined person. You're not going to let anybody stand in your way. You're not going to let anything stop you from obtaining your goals. It's just not going to happen. I feel like there's one more that, yep, one more that wants to come out. Self-esteem. Yeah. You feel good about yourself. I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. You're feeling really good about yourself, right? And that's, of course, standing in your power is you feeling good about you. And I feel like this tarot reader is telling them, like, this person is shining and they have a lot of prospects. They have a lot of people wanting to come towards them. They have a lot of people wanting to be around them, right? So you have a lot of people wanting to be around you. You have a lot of prospects. And so they're telling this person that passion, that you found a passion and you're not, right? That's my story and I'm sticking to it. That's your story. Hobbies, preference, and interests. That's your passion. You're celebrating it, right? Celebration, ceremony, and carnival with fire again. It is set your soul on fire. There's something here that you're doing and you are just doing it and you're loving every second of it. And that could be taking care of yourself, but it also might be something else that you're really, really enjoying. And you found a sense of peace. And especially after coming from a situation like that, where it was always arguing or always fighting or where there's so much chaos going on, right? You're in organized chaos for yourself, but it doesn't mean that you enjoy arguing and people yelling at each other, right? You found your peace, and that's the most important thing to you. And that's your order. Your organized chaos is your order. That's where you find your space, your clarity, your truth. Okay, I don't know why, but I feel like I want to get one of these for you. The money coming from cards. Okay, yeah, mechanic. Interesting. So it says, mend what needs mending. It might be broken, but not all is lost. It says, considering a career as a mechanic or an automotive aerospace or repair technician, you can easily fix your finances, but a sacrifice may be needed. I feel like that's the thing. You mended yourself with the mechanic card coming out here. On the bottom, we have laborer. Your hard work will be rewarded soon. Keep at it. You are a determined worker. Okay, you work hard for what it is that you're doing in life. And that's why you're able to enjoy the things that you enjoy. You know, like massages and facials, maybe going to the spa once a month, whatever it is. It's like you work hard for that. You should enjoy it. You know, and they're telling this person that that's exactly who you are. You've learned to take care of yourself on another level, not just self-care like meditation, but self-care is like the physical body and going places that make you feel rejuvenated. Maybe you go to retreats, or maybe you go to meditation retreats, or you go to, you know, ayahuasca or something like that. Like maybe you travel all the time and take a cruise. Like you're doing something that would be seen to other people as super luxurious, but to you, this is what you need for your healing. Yeah, we have the mask, hidden motive, concealed, disguise, and lying. This is what you've dealt with. You've dealt with people who've had masks on their whole lives, and you've never seen the true person until the arguments started. You never saw the true person until they could only let their true colors be seen, right? And it was always behind closed doors. You may have dealt with, and I'm not here to diagnose people, but you may have dealt with narcissistic people in your life or sociopathic people in your life, and that's you healing from that. Is really, really taking care of yourself. So we have signs and synchronicities, coincidences, signal hint, messages from the universe. So they told this person that you're incredibly intuitive as well, very psychic as well, which with Scorpio energy here is not surprising. Anytime we get water energy, that's to me a sure sign of psychic powers. We also have Scorpio energy with the 6 of Cups. But, and just because you don't have water in your chart doesn't mean you're not psychic, okay? Like, that's just a first sign to me that there's psychic abilities present. And psychic doesn't have to just be telling the future or whatever. It can be anything, right? Anything that is psychically inclined. One of the clairs, it could be having prophetic dreams, you could be astral traveler, you could have psychic medium abilities, but I do feel like they told them that you're psychic for sure. Yeah, surrender now with the moth spirit. You have this beautiful way of trusting source when it matters the most. You let go and you let source, like let go and let God. That's the energy that you're always in, and you're not afraid of trusting that. And your faith is very strong. Strength. Your faith is very strong, and we have the strength card coming out. You're an incredibly strong person. The things that you've gone through have made you strong, right? And you're also healing from all of that. Wow, this card does not want to stay there. It's just kind of like floating strength. Oh my gosh, no, that just happened. We got the flow card. We were talking about floating, and flowing is like floating, right? When you're drifting down the river. That's exactly, just kept shifting. Look, and now it's not. Look at that. What? I can't with you, source. I can't. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that got caught on camera. I'm sure you saw it, how it just naturally kept going that way. It was flowing that way. Okay, and then we got flow. So powerful. These cards already. Amazing. Do you see how it, like that? Yeah. You just go with the flow now. You're not worried about anything else. You're just going with the flow. Balance. This has been also the other underlying message for the whole reading. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. No longer judging yourself for who you are, where you're at. Service. I feel good when I can help others. Yeah. And doing service that works for you, right? Not service at the cost of yourself, not service because someone expects it, but you're doing service that works for you. And that's standing out really strongly. The flame just went out. I can't. Did I say you're like in organized chaos? That's your life. We have instability, unrest, unpredictability, and corruption. But I love that the chaos card came out because it's what I was saying at the beginning. You live in organized chaos, which is perfectly fine, right? That's like some people get it, some people don't, and that's all right. But this came as a result of living in so much instability and so much unrest. You had to find some sort of compromise there that worked good with you and your soul. Maybe in a year from now you won't be living like that any longer. Maybe you'll feel like I need to organize things, but right now there's like a flow for your life, and you're not really worried about how things look as much as how it flows for your energy. And that's what makes it seem chaotic, but it's actually a very dynamic way of living. Between the lines, hidden meaning, vague, speculate, and implicit. Yeah, you're very mysterious. Between the lines. There's a lot about you that people want to know, but they don't know. And you don't just willingly share. Again, it's not about the right answer. It's about the right question. Divine intervention, serendipity, catalyst, supernatural, and karma. Look, these are all very spiritual cards coming from this deck. This is a love deck. that I've drew on all 3 piles, but all 3 of the cards so far have been very spiritual about the divine. There's been the synchronicities card, between the lines. These are all very spiritual, like 1 foot into the spiritual realm. What was I saying? You're incredibly psychic. So you're very gifted. You have 1 foot in the divine realm at all times and 1 foot in the physical realm. You're not overrun by either. You're in a perfect state of balance, of receptivity and of reception. Wow, let me try that again. Of receiving divine messages as well as acting on divine messages. Friends, acquaintance, trust, support, and loyalty. So again, this love card does not have to be romance. Maybe you're not looking for romance. Maybe that's a chapter in your life that's closed, and that's okay, right? But I do feel like Source is saying you're meant to have somebody in your life that is your ride or die. And with the Friends card coming out, that's just a confirmation of that. Now, for some of you, you might be looking for a romance of a lifetime, and that's fine too. Like, that could be someone that's going to be a friend that's going to turn into a romance later, whatever it is. But I do feel like Source is saying, like, you're calling in. And with this specific image, I'm getting 1 person. It could be 2 persons, but 2 people, but you're calling in 1 person in general that is just going to be like your ride or die. This is going to be the person who gets you. That's really soul tribe. It's like not necessarily needing 1,000 people as my soul tribe, right? As much as it is, I need this 1 person that's going to be real with me and honest with me and show up 100% with me. And that's what it is that you're calling in if you haven't already. And I feel like that's what this 6 of Cups very much represents, is this Friends card. So we're going to take a look at this card. I'm going to read it from the book for you. We've got love makes the difference. Look, love helps heal past hurts and provides a sense of security and self-worth. How telling with this to come out. And the Chaos card, we saw that you lived a life of insecurity. We saw that you lived a life of unrest. And now you're showing up with self-love. And loving yourself helps you to heal those past hurts that you went through. And you're finding a sense of self-worth and security in yourself, which is so very powerful. Okay, so let's check out what 30... I turned right to it. How awesome. I love when that happens. Thank you so much, Source. So we have, love is strong and can endure anything. If you trust love, everything else will fall into place. When there are challenges, it is important to keep your heart open. Healthy boundaries are an essential aspect of creating trust in a relationship. You should be able to give freely from your heart to your partner's heart. Your partner in turn should be able to share, knowing you will treasure this mutual respect. Use kindness as a rudder in relationships to keep communication and feelings on course. Kindness is the value that allows both parties to feel understood and nurtured. It validates loving interactions. Keep kindness at the forefront of difficult conversations to keep contempt and anger in check. Think about what you want in your life. Love will help set things right. Remember, relationships need work to keep them strong. And I feel like this is just that reminder that, like, you know, you're ready and willing to put in that work and that effort to a relationship. But you're not going to do that if another person isn't going to show up in that light for you either. So this is what this tarot reader told this person about you. And honestly, it's strong. And I feel like, I'm going to be honest with you, I feel like the person that got this tarot reading wanted something else. They wanted other information about you. But again, it's not about the right answer. It's about the right question. And they didn't ask the right question, but this is the answer that they got. And so it totally stands in line with your energy, which I completely love. And I'm so honored I got to connect with you in this way. But if you feel like this is your reading, leave the little dove emoji down below and say, I walk with 1 foot in the spiritual and 1 foot in the mundane. And I'm a balanced entity that is able to get divine messages as well as act on those messages when necessary. And if it resonated with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, check out the description box. It has everything you need, including how to reach me for a personal reading, as well as how to join as a member here on the channel. With that, I do want to take a quick second to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, my spirit guides, as well as your ancestors who did come in at the beginning of your reading. And I feel like we need to give a shout out to them here. So with that being said, until next time, pile number 3, stay human. Bye.